Okay guys, so in this video, let's set up the project for making this shopping cart application. So let's go to Android Studio, and here what I've done is that I've created a new application with an empty activity. As we can see that the main activity is empty, and inside the activity main.xml we only have a single text view. So firstly, let's go to the build.gradle file, and there we'll add the dependencies that are required into this project. So here in the dependencies tab of the build.gradle file app level, so let me paste in the dependencies here. So as we can see, the first dependency is for the recycler view. The second one is for material library, since we are using material components in this application. Then this dependency is for view model and live data, since we are using shared view model and live data. Then this one is for navigation components, since we are using Jetpack navigation components. And lastly, we have the dependency for glide library, since we have images inside our application. As we can see here that this is an image, and if we go to the product detail, so this is also an image, and these are all network images. So we are using this glide library to load these images inside the image view. So therefore we are using this glide library. And now, since we are using data binding and view binding in this project, so what should we do? We should enable data binding and view binding inside this Android block here. So let's enable it. So data binding, and here we'll say enabled equal to true, like this. And then for view binding, since there are cases where we only need view binding and not data binding, and view binding is also faster as compared to data binding, as the Android docs say. So wherever it is not necessary to use data binding, we'll use view binding. So view binding, and this should again be enabled equal to true, like this. And now what I'll do, I'll sync my project, and now I'll close this file here. And now let's go to the manifest file here. And since we are using network images, so we need the internet permission. So let me add the permission for internet. So internet, like this. So that's all what is required inside the manifest file. And now let me also close this manifest file here. And now let's go to this Java folder here, as you can see. And inside this Java folder, we have the shopping cart. And now here I'm going to create certain packages, because since we are following the MVVM pattern, so we want to sandbox each and every file inside its own package. So let me create a new package. And the new package, the first package we are going to create is the views package. That is the views inside MVVM. So let's call it views, like this. And this main activity should be transferred to this views folder or this views package, and we'll do that in a moment. And now let me create two more packages, that is for the models and for the view models. So this package name is models, like this. And now I'll create another package that would be for view models, since all the view models should be inside this package, like this. And now I would like to create two more packages, and that is the repositories package and the adapters package. Though the adapters are a part of views, but I like to create a separate package for all my recycler adapters. So let's call this package adapters, like this. And now I'll create one more package, and that package name is repositories, because all our database operation or all our network operations would happen inside this repositories package. Though we are not going to make any database or network operation here, we are going to mimic that, because in this series I would like to explain it to you that how does MVVM work, and it is not a video about that how room database works or retrofit works. Though it can be easily implemented when I'll be working inside the repository, I'll tell you that how do we work with network API or a local room database. So now, since our packages have been completed or created, so the first thing I would like to do is to move this main activity inside this views package, because as I've told you in the previous video that all the activities and all the fragments are a part of views. So let me move this main activity inside this views package here. And now it would ask us to refactor. So let's click on refactor here. And now this main activity is a part of this views package. And now for our application is a single activity application, and that activity is the main activity, but it contains 4 fragments or 5 fragments. So one fragment, or the first fragment, is this fragment, that is the shop fragment. And if we click on the product, we have the product detail fragment. And then if we go to the cart, we have the cart fragment. And if we place an order, we would have a order fragment, like this. So let's create these 4 fragments inside our views package, because all the fragments are a part of views. So let's right click, new fragment, fragment blank. And I don't know why it is not showing it to me that do not include factory default methods, but we'll delete what is not required. So the first fragment name is shop fragment, like this. And now let's click on finish. And now this is the fragment, that is the shop fragment. And now let me create 3 more fragments. So the new fragment blank, and this should be called product fragment, or let's call it product detail fragment to be more explicit. Let's click on finish. And now let me create another fragment, and this should be why it's grayed out. So new fragment, blank fragment, this should be cart fragment. Let's click on finish, and let's create the last fragment, and that is the order fragment. So new fragment, fragment blank, and this should be called order fragment, not product fragment but order fragment. Now let's click on finish. So we have all the 4 fragments ready. So now it's time to clean up these fragments, because it includes certain factory default methods and we do not want them. So let me delete all this thing from here, and let me delete this comment also from here, like this. Let me delete this also, and let me also delete this. I do not want that. Or let me also delete this on create, like this. And this is the only thing which we require inside our fragment, that is the empty constructor and on create view. And similarly, what we are going to do, we are going to do this for all the other 3 fragments. So let's go to the cart fragment. So let's remove this up till here or up till here, because we do not want a new instance. And then we also want to delete this method here, that is the on create override method. And unfortunately I've deleted the empty constructor. So first let me delete this thing from here. Then let me delete this new instance method, because we do not want that. Let me also delete this on create method. So let's save it, and let's close this fragment. Let's close all the XML files also. Let's go to the order fragment. So it's done. So let's go to the product detail fragment. So let me remove this thing from here. Let me remove this instance method from here, because we do not require it. And then we can also remove this thing from here. So that's all for this product detail fragment. And for the shop fragment, we'll also do the similar thing. So let's remove this, and let's also remove this instance method from here. And let's also remove this on create from here, like this. So now our fragments are clean and we are ready to work. So let's also close the shop fragment and this thing here. And now we are inside our main activity, and our all 4 fragments have been created. So now why not let's also create the view models here. And the view model we are going to use, we are going to call this view model a shop view model. So let's create a new Java class, and the name would be shop view model, like this. And okay, and this class should extend from view model. It extends view model, like this. And now we are going to work inside this view model. So now firstly what we will do, we'll go to the repositories here, and we'll create 2 repositories, one for the cart repository and one for the shop thing here. So let's go to here, let's create a new Java class. Let's call it cart repo, and this repo would contain all the methods that are required for handling the cart. So let's create it like this, the cart repo, and it's an empty class right now. And let's create one more repo here, and that would be called the shop repo. So let's create a new class here, and this should be called shop repo. Let's press OK. So this is the shop repo. So till now everything is empty. So why not let's add a navigation component inside our main activity, or the activity main.xml, because currently we have a constraint layout and we have a text view here. So we want to remove this text view from here, and we want to drag in a nav host fragment that will host all the fragments here. So let me delete this thing from here, and what I'll do, I'll delete this, or let's go to the code thing here, and here what I'll do, I'll remove this constraint layout from here, and instead we'll use a frame layout like this. And here what we want to have, we simply want to have a nav host fragment. And here inside this frame layout, we want to have a nav host fragment. So to get a nav host fragment inside this frame layout, what I'll do, I'll go to this containers thing here, and here we want to drag in the nav host fragment. So let me drag on the nav host fragment here, and now we see that no navigation is available. So firstly, we want to create a navigation graph. So let's click on cancel here, and we'll come back to this thing later. So let's go to the resource folder here, right click here, new, Android resource file, and let's name this file nav graph like this, and the resource type would be navigation. And let's click on OK here, and now we see that our nav graph is here. So now let's go to the activity main.xml, and we want to add this nav graph to our nav host fragment. So now this time we'll drag our nav host fragment here, and now we see that we have our nav graph available. So let's click it, or let's select it, and let's click on OK here. So we see that our nav host fragment is here, and if we go to the code thing here, we see that the nav host fragment is an ID of fragment. So let's rename this thing, rename this fragment, and let's call it nav host fragment. Not graph fragment, but it is not nav host fragment. You can name it whatever you like. So let me call it nav host fragment, the ID of the fragment. And now let's go to our nav graph here, and this time we see that the host is automatically added, that is the activity main.xml, and the ID is provided here. So now we want to add some destinations here. So what all destinations do we want to add? We want to add the destinations that are the layout files for all these 4 fragments, that is the shop fragment, the product detail fragment, the order fragment, and the cart fragment. So what we'll do, we'll click on this icon here, that is the new destination, and the first destination we want inside our application would be the shop fragment. So let's click on the shop fragment, and we see that an home icon is added to the shop fragment, which means that it is the start destination. So now let me add one more destination here, and this time we would be adding the product detail fragment, because whenever someone will click on a product inside your shop fragment, then he should be taken to the product detail fragment. So let me minimize this thing from here. So attributes is minimized now. Okay. So now let me drag in one more fragment, that is the cart fragment, because if someone adds a product, if someone wants to go to the cart, he can go to the cart fragment. So let me drag in the cart fragment from here like this. And now finally what we want to have, we want to also have a destination for the order fragment, because that is also a destination, because at some point the user might place an order here. So now let's make some connections here. So inside a shop fragment, as we can see inside our application, that if a person clicks here, he is taken to the product detail fragment, and if he clicks on the cart, he can go to the cart fragment, and inside the product detail fragment, he can also go to the cart thing here. So we see we have to make 2 connections, from the shop to the cart and from the product detail to the cart. So we have the shop fragment, product detail fragment, and then from the product detail fragment he can go to the cart, and then from the shop fragment also he can also go to the cart like this, and then from the cart fragment he can go to the order placement fragment, that is he can place the order from the cart fragment. So let me minimize it, and let me make some room here like this. And now finally from the order fragment, what we want to have, let's see the flow of our application. Someone adds the product to the cart, we can go to the cart, and then we can place the order, and then if we click on continue shopping, we should be taken back to the shop here. So we are back to the shop. So now what we want to do, we want to make a connection between this order fragment to the shop fragment like this. And now let's see what is happening inside our application one more time. So if we add a product to the cart, we go back to the cart, we place an order, and now if we press the back button here, what should happen? We should be taken to the cart fragment or to the shop fragment, because the order has already been placed. So if we press the back button here, we see that we are taken back to the shop. Now to implement this thing here, what we need to do, we need to set some attributes to this thing here, that is to this action here, and the action would be this pop2 behavior, and this pop2 behavior should be up to cart shop fragment, because we want to take it back to the shop fragment and not back to the cart fragment if someone presses the back button on the order fragment. So let's click here, pop up to shop fragment like this. So this is almost all of the navigation thing that we require. So now we want to add some animation when someone goes from shop fragment to the product detail fragment. So as you can see here, if we click on any item here, we are taking to the product detail fragment and we are having a transition here. So let's add that transition or that animation inside our application. So for that, let's go to the resource folder here and let's create a new animation resource directory. So Android resource directory, and the directory name would be anim and the resource type would be anim like this. So let's click on OK here. And here what I'm going to do, I am going to copy some files here. And these are all XML files, and I'll explain to you that what I'm doing here. So let me copy them first. So here I've copied in 4 files here, that is slide in left, slide in right, slide out right, left, slide out right. And I have a very good video about this, that how do these animations work. So what you can do, you can go to that video and you can see that how these animations work. But here I'm simply applying those animations here. So let's click on this thing here. And here we want to provide an enter animation, that is this product, that is when someone clicks on the shop fragment, this product detail fragment is entering. So it should be entering from the right side. So that is why we have this slide in right. And then we have the exit animation. So what is exiting? This shop fragment is exiting. So it should slide out left. So slide out left. Then we have the pop enter, that is when someone presses the back button. So pop enter would be slide in left because this thing would be entering. There should be slide in left like this, and the pop exit would be slide out right. And if we look at one of these files here, that is slide in left and slide out right, we simply have these 2 animations, that is the opacity of the incoming fragment or the outgoing fragment and the translation. And here we see that whenever we are using slide in left, that whenever something is entering from the left side, then it will translate from -300 to 0, that is to the original to the position where it should be, and the duration is 200 milliseconds, and the opacity would be from 0 to 1, that is completely invisible to completely visible. So this is how we add these animations here. So I guess it's a long video and I think I should stop here, and in the next video